I want to run your power building program. I only have barbells in a rack. Can I still run it? No, not really. The power building program that I have, really, to do it right, you really need access to a facility that has a lot of equipment in it. It doesn't need to be, it doesn't need to have 50 different machines, but, it needs to have a few things other than a rack and a barbell set. That's trying to fit a round peg in a square hole. I'm not saying you can't do a program that builds muscle and strength, or even one that leans more towards hypertrophy type training with a barbell and a rack. But to try to do the power building program that I have on my website, to do that with just barbells is not really going to work. It's not designed that way. The thing is with machines and dumbbells and body weight exercises, so basically all your non-barbell stuff, is it's designed to get work in that is less stressful than the barbell work. Okay, so if you see, let's say on a day where you're going to train your quads or whatever, and you're going to finish that workout with 5 sets of 15 on a leg extension with 30 seconds of rest, in between sets. You can't sub that with barbell squats. That's not an equivalent. Okay, you can't say, oh, well, I'll just do light squats for 5 sets of 15 with 30 seconds. No. That's not the same level of stress at all. The reason you would want to use a machine on there is because it allows you to get the effect, the metabolic effect of a very, high, like a blood volume type training on an individual muscle group with very high reps, short rest intervals, and a lot of work in a very short period of time without delivering the systemic stress that a barbell exercise does. Okay, so it's intentionally less stressful in order to perform a certain type of training. Now, that type of training is not performance enhancing. So if you're a pure strength athlete or a sport athlete, you don't need to be doing that type of training anyway. That type of training really doesn't make you stronger. It's a physique type training methodology for, bodybuilding or people who are just trying to get bigger. The best way to get bigger is just continue to get stronger and build up your volume on your barbell exercises. But there are obviously other methodologies out there that can kind of maximize hypertrophy. But a lot of those methods aren't necessarily also performance enhancing. So, it's just kind of a cosmetic type deal. But that sort of thing does work, but you can't use barbells for everything. Same thing with, like, say, a chest training routine. You start off with maybe heavy bench press, and then do something, higher reps, 5 sets of 10 to 12 reps with, on a dumbbell presses or something like that. That's different. That's a different level of stress than doing that same amount of work with barbells. Okay, so use a program that's appropriate for the equipment that you have. Don't try to fit a round peg in a square hole and try to do a routine that's based on a lot of dumbbell machine isolation type work when you don't have the equipment to do that. Either do a different program or upgrade your equipment selection or join a gym and do the program as written, but don't try to sub everything in and out like that. It just doesn't work that well.